fucking many. I'm the real, that's who I am. We ain't pressed about no side, we having bad, no we ain't done. Oh, we thinking that's that game, that shit straight chips, a group of friends. East that, how about 6 gang? That's a block, bunny can't go like him. I never asked my mom, so I hand out, yeah, I'm the one to go put on. I can promise you 5 ain't stressing, I'm getting the racks to throw your phone. To the boy, go eat that dick, ain't pressing it 5, what the fuck you want? How the fuck you wanna say that it's block, ain't nobody outside and nobody be home. Let's talk on the facts, why your rappers too try? And if I really don't get that grown get back. Take a friend, cause you're the man, and Q ain't the way you try. Yeah, I get rice. Many had walked in the club with no bad, this shit too sad. East in that step in the spot. Tryna walk down on S, but got no mag. I don't know one with a bitch, but she leaving for weeks and she go get thrashed. Many just crying, you mother ain't got no bad and the bro can't ride. I got he ran out of money, he gave the cat, can't pay that tax. Yeah, I just came out of pill, a brand new rack on my bitch don't ask. Fucking many, I'm the real, that's who I am. We ain't pressed about no side, we having bad, no we ain't done. Oh, we thinking that's that game, that shit straight chips, a group of friends. East that, how about 6 gang? That's a block, bunny can't go like him. Yeah, each shot the recruit far. Me and I can't put them on. I can promise you 5 ain't stressing, I'm getting the racks to throw your phone. To the boy, go eat that dick, ain't pressing it 5, what the fuck you on? How the fuck you wanna say that it's block, ain't nobody outside and nobody be home? Many I copped in my house and this bitch left him and then took his home. If this music ain't so real talent, I don't think that Lamania really be on. I ain't gonna say too much about the rest of the group cause the boys ain't known. Let's talk on the facts. You only got that check cause the scene that the fall stepped on. Let's talk on the facts. Easton ain't got your back. Say that brother don't know your tracks. Let's talk on the facts. If you was carrying talent, your label would say don't try. Walk in the club, can't drop no racks. Hop on the beat, can't run that track. Oh, he tryna creep through the battle. Never I want, I'ma smoke that pack. Fucking many. I'm the real, that's who I am. We ain't pressed about no side, we having bad, no we ain't done. Oh, we thinking that's that game, that shit straight chips, a group of friends. East that, how about 6 gang? That's a block, bunny can't go like him. I never asked my mom, so I hand out, yeah, I'm the one to go put on. I can promise you 5 ain't stressing, I'm getting the racks to throw your phone. To the boy, go eat that dick, ain't pressing it 5, what the fuck you on? How the fuck you wanna say that it's block, ain't nobody outside and nobody be home?
Hello, hi, is this thing on? Hello. Welcome to Behind the Roleplay. Hello, my name is Dudes Me Fam. A lot of people may know me as Jimmy or Cree or Apollo, or recently my new character Max Headroom, new photographer in the game. So thank you all so much for coming to today's episode of Behind the Roleplay. Today we have a very special guest named T-Rex or Rex, which honestly, funny enough, she told me, she said, before we start, I'm not even lying to you, as soon as we started, she said, what if someone says, her name K or Fiona K? I'm like, no one's gonna do that. And literally, as soon as I started stream, that there's 1, 2, 3. I mean, damn, dude. Anyways, damn, that's fucking wild. But yeah, thank y'all so much for coming. Today we're going to be kind of just talking about pretty much just her roleplay, about how Fiona kind of got her start and just pretty much deep dive into her characters. And so make sure to sit back, relax, and to just enjoy. I know there's a subtle just stop in music. I'm sorry, I don't really know how to fadely go out of music, so I apologize. But yeah, so let me switch scenes. Okay. And then boom. All right. Well, hello there. Hi Rex, how you doing?
Oh, I'm fantastic. Hi.
Hi. So here's Fiona, which Panda did phenomenal on drawing be on your character. And I will say though too, also if anybody in chat would like some art done by the artist that drawn pretty much everything here, there's her Ko-fi link if anybody's interested in anything that's done, that's drawn and on set and everything. But yeah, thank you so much, Rex, for coming on to Behind the Roleplay. Which I will say though also too is that about probably I think about a month ago or something like that, we actually put out this little link that we gave people a link to suggest who they want to see come on Behind the Roleplay, and kind of gave us clips and stuff like that. And you actually got suggested twice, which I'm like, wow, okay, really got to get her on here as soon as possible.
Oh my god, damn.
Yeah. I think the clip that got shared was when your biker character was trying to sell drugs or something like that, and then it instantly just got shot up or something like that. I think that was a clip that got used for that one, and then I went down the rabbit hole of just all your clips. So I'm glad. Thank you so much for coming on here. And yeah, so I guess the first question that I have for you is, what was your thought process to make Fiona? So obviously, kind of like, I guess, cliff notes would be Fiona is now a CI. No, what is it like a? What is it like a trooper slash? What's the term I'm thinking of?
I don't know.
CI, not CIA.
She's not CID anymore.
CID.
She was CID.
That's what it was. CID. Yeah. So she's just a trooper
CID
now.
Yeah, she is a junior trooper in the San Andreas State Troopers, which is the equivalent of a corporal.
Oh wow.
So she's kind of a big deal. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So what was kind of like your thought process to kind of come up with the name of Fiona? Like, for me, honestly, I was just sitting at my desk when I made Cree Frost. Like, I was literally sitting here like, Creed, not like that. I was like, Cree, okay, and then Frost is just, I like the way it sounded. So what was kind of your process of creating, just a name in general?
Well, I'm not the type of person who uses their real name for their characters. So, like, anytime I meet a character who has my, like, actual name, I kind of freak out because I'm like, huh? Who? What? That's weird. So, I already had a character named Rose, and her name's a little different. She spells it a little differently because it's not her full name, whatever. So, for Fiona, I wanted something that was a little different. I didn't want to go too out there, but I just wanted something that was a little different that, was just a little bit more unique. So I don't know where the idea for Fiona came from. I remember DMing my friend about it. I was like, okay, my cop character, I'm going to name her Fiona. I don't know what else, but Fiona, I like it. It sounds good. And then I decided for her maiden name is Diamante. And that is kind of a name I made up. It's Italian-ish. Like Amante is Italian for like love, or lover or something. So I wanted something that sounded cool. So I was like, huh, Fiona Diamante. All right, that sounds pretty neat. And then it just kind of went from there. I ended up creating a whole backstory for her. She wasn't Southern initially, and she's gotten less Southern as time has gone by because I forget to do the Southern accent. But yeah, I just was like, hey, Fiona Diamante, that sounds kind of good. And now she's Fiona Lionheart, which sounds pretty badass if I do say so myself.
True, it does. So now I've had a lot of guests on here have always kind of said like they either make a backstory or they don't. Typically, a lot of people do. Now, for me personally, I don't think I've ever made a backstory for any character. Literally, I've always kind of like came up with a name, play the character for a little bit. If anything sticks, then I kind of just, I usually go along with it. And then sometimes, like I did with Jimmy, is that I'll give other people around me, if I talk to someone, if I talk to you like, hey, I'm the sewer, my mom and dad didn't like me or anything, now I'm here. And then the next person I'll be like, hey, I'm coming from the sewer, my mom didn't like me, my dad did, like trying to change things up, trying to get the more reaction that I had. That's when I was like, okay, that's my backstory. So what are you kind of like with that though? Do you make a backstory first and then make a character, or do you just kind of like make your character and then kind of go with whatever sticks?
So for Fiona, it was kind of a mixture of both. I created her with the intention of making her a cop. That was my main thing. And then the rest of it kind of just developed shortly over time. Like, I remember during her recruit phase at the prison, someone being like, Fiona, what's your middle name? And I was like, shit, I don't know. I didn't think this far. And honestly,
that part, that's so crazy. I say that literally almost every time I've had some type of character reaction or whatever, someone always asks my character what's his middle name. And I'm like, that they don't even give that option in fucking making the character. That didn't even come in my thought process, you know?
Yeah. And so I thought of it on the spot. I remember I was standing there. I was like, it's Delaney. And they're like, Fiona, your middle name is Delaney? And I was like, yeah, I'm Fiona Delaney Diamante. And they're like, oh, okay. And then she asked her friend, what's your middle name? And he's like, I have no idea. Like, he just couldn't even think of anything.
Oh my God, dude.
So it was kind of a mixture. So after a little bit, after I started playing Fiona more and more and kind of figured out what her personality was, especially how she differed from Rose, who has always been a criminal character, I came up with a whole backstory. Like, I had a whole Google Doc written about her, what led her to being in Los Santos. And honestly, within the first month, I had that pretty much down and what I wanted her past to be. And that really helped with the story development with Fiona as time went on, knowing like where she came from and how she reacted to certain things based on her past. So honestly, I really like having the whole backstory thing. That's just me though.
All right. Well, okay. So I think for me though, see, I don't even know, because honestly, when I made Apollo, all I had in mind was like, all right, I'm gonna have him go to Humane Labs, say that he broke out, whatever, whatever. But then I don't know. Honestly, I do think that just kind of going with it. But then again, I don't know. See, I don't know. I like both. I like both, to be honest with you. Like sometimes I like planning it. Sometimes I like thinking on the go. But see, the reason why I get so kind of iffy about it is because technically speaking, planned RP, regardless of it being in like planned RP, which is like, you know, making character, or art, you know, just free willing it, you know, it's like, I think it's just, regardless, it's still, you know, it is what it is. But I do like kind of, you know, planning a little bit, not too much though.
Well, yeah, planning for the future is different than planning what their past was.
Yeah.
It's just, it's allowed me to have Fiona react more organically and more realistically to certain situations. Like, she had some drama with her siblings in the past or whatever. She had a lot of sisters. And so she can call on that kind of thing, whatever it could be in her past. And she can call on that and bring it up anecdotally or something. And it really, I feel like, adds to the depth and adds to the realism of the roleplay, having her kind of backstory in mind.
See, dude, I'm telling you, I love how much thought you have put into your characters though. Just because, like, literally, I feel like a lot of times people just don't really ever think about that much. Like, I will say though, too, is that I've always gotten scared to say things on the fly with my character's backstory. Like, even if I didn't really, you know, plan or anything. Like, let's say like Jimmy has like a brother and sister or whatever, right? I'm so scared to say that because someone may question it and I may fucking forget about it, may just be out of my brain, you know? So it's like,
Yeah.
no, what are you talking about? It's like, but you say, oh, right, yeah, I do have a brother and sister. Yeah, what's your names? I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. The names got bought out or whatever, you know? So it's like,
Yeah.
I always get a little worried. But so how do you handle, do you just remember everything, or do you just kind of wing it and hopefully no one really asks you anything like that?
I mean, people don't ask too much. For the basic stuff like Fiona's siblings' names and her parents' names, and honestly the same with Rose too. Like, I just know those. I wrote them down a long time ago. But initially, yeah, things were a bit more fluid, I guess you could say. Like, I knew Fiona had 6 sisters, and I actually remember, or was it 5 sisters? See, I can't remember if she has 5 or 6 sisters off the top of my head. She has a lot. And I remember Fiona was on a date with someone, and he was like, so tell me about you. And I was like, okay. So I hadn't written anything down yet. So I just started going off about this kind of a tragic backstory for Fiona, and I was like, God, I'm good. Like, oh my God, I'm so creative. Look at me go. And I ended up writing it down later, and it became like, that's who Fiona was. Fiona was telling the truth. And so I wrote it down, I think, that night. So, like, it was definitely organic. But I mean, for Rose, like, I think she used to have more siblings. Now she just has a sister and a brother. And if anyone ever questions me on, I'll be like, "You think I don't know my own siblings? Please, I know." So I would just gaslight my way out of that kind of situation, I think.
See, that's so I love that so much though. Just to like you like part of you's like, oh well, damn, I gotta write down, but then part of you's like, well, if my character obviously has these brothers and like, obviously, like, of course I know them.
Yeah.
So kind of going back to like I say about the planning RP thing. So with how many times Fiona has been tortured, right? Because it's pretty it's a lot, okay? It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's I mean listen, she sent me this little bio thing of Fiona. Okay, this shit, bro. I saw one thing where she lost her
Fiona's been through some
leg
shit.
and then
Yeah.
went on a date with a guy, then got tortured, and then went on another date, got tortured again. Like, dude, when's Fiona gonna have like a nice little like happy ending or whatever? Like, is it in the near future, or is it too? Is that too soon to call, or what?
Okay, so in
I'm telling you guys, it's fucking crazy. It's so fucking crazy.
the running joke throughout all of 2023 was that Fiona is a torture magnet. Now, when you say it just like that, it sounds really, really funny. But when you actually think about the fact that Fiona was made fun of for how often she was kidnapped and tortured and maimed, like, that's horrific. So let me just say, wow, that's crazy that people made fun of her for that. But yes, Fiona has been through some shit. She is currently married. I think Fiona has found a pretty good semblance of a happily ever after. She's happily married. She has one daughter who wakes up a lot. She has 5 dogs living at her house. She's a corporal in the troopers. Like, she's good. Now, I hate to foreshadow and say that, things might be like dun dun dun
Oh my
about to
God.
change.
Here we go.
I don't want to say that.
Here we go. Yeah.
But right now, Fiona is very, very happy. She's gotten, higher up in the ranks in PD. She's an FTI. She's a canine instructor. She's married. Like, she's chilling.
Mm. I bet she's
So
chilling, and then chilling is someone come behind her with a knife and then cut off her fucking kidney or something like that.
One might say Fiona's getting too complacent. We'll just have to see.
Wait, what's that? Hang on, chat. What does that word mean? What does that word mean? Complacent?
Complacent means that she's just kind of not worried about what's going on around her. She's relaxing. She's like, okay, maybe things are coming up Millhouse. Maybe I'm not going to be attacked anymore. That's being complacent. And that's when bad things happen.
Okay, so make a character. Fiona's gonna be his first target. Okay, gotcha. All right.
Absolutely. Oh, I used to have people DM me and be like, hey, does Fiona want to get tortured?
Honestly, I was about to ask you that too. Funny enough, my serial killer, Mr. Ink, I made a whole different Discord forum. I mean, I went to the length, right? I went because I didn't want nobody to know who I was, because as soon as they knew who I was, it would change people's, I guess, insight about him as a character. Because if they knew that I played him, like, oh, it's just dude, it's just dude, it's fine. It's like, no, I don't want that. I want people to be like, who the fuck is this guy? So
yeah,
I remember I would log in to that Discord, and the amount of fucking DMs that I got around the clock was crazy to me. Like, people asking me constantly, like, hey, can you kill off my character today? Hey, by the way, my character's in the hospital. It'd be really great if you could just walk in and just stab him. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, when I played my serial killer, the amount of people I had DMing me saying, hey, will you torture my character? Will you kill off my character? Like, please, can you just come give him a little stab, please? Like, oh my, are you okay?
Which I will say this though too, like, even if I wanted to do that, right? Even if I just wanted to, just have him do it, if it just doesn't make sense for the character to just just kill somebody or hurt somebody completely random.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the reason why I enjoyed Mr. Ink so much was because that his story was so enriched, and just really just a lot of people were involved. People who honestly, I'll never forget the time where someone told me that there was a guy, they didn't tell me his name, but by this guy who literally every day that he logged in changed his clothes, his hair, put a beard on, and changed his car colors every day. he was afraid of Mr. Ink and afraid if he would find him. And I was like,
Oh damn.
what the fuck? You know, like that is so it's so crazy for to hear something like that, you know? Um
Yeah, I got a little bit of that when I was Mantis, and after she died as well. I heard someone wanted to like find her acid ashes and eat them.
what the fuck?
Someone Mantis had never met. Someone was spraying Mantis's name on FDF block, and Mantis is like, I don't know shit about gangs. What the fuck is happening? And Mantis gained a bit of notoriety, and it's like kind of exciting too when that happens. You're like, oh my god, you guys like me. You really like me.
Well, I will say though, one time I think I was honestly watching someone stream, someone who I never watched before. Right, I'm watching a stream. Out of nowhere, some dude, random dude, is dressed up as Mr. Ink with a mask and his suit that he wore in one picture. Right, just walk by and be like, hey, I'm Mr. Ink. Hey, I'm like, what the fuck? People are dressing up as Mr. Ink, trying to like cause fear. I'm like, that's so
That's
crazy to me.
trippy.
Yeah, so crazy. So and again, no idea who they were, right? Someone completely random, just trying to get attention. I'm just like, hey, I'm not even logged in. Have fun. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
but yeah, no, that was honestly that's probably peak of my RP. People say career, peak of my RP career because Jesus Christ, dude. Just honestly, I feel like my first killer, which is Mr. Smiles, I feel like that one was very short lived because obviously, believe it or not, not to brag, but I'm the reason why they don't have a mayor in the city right now. Yeah.
God, you're so cool.
yeah, I'm literally the reason why there's no mayor, and they've actually said it multiple times. But I cut the mayor's head. Well, Mr. Smiles cut his head off, and then just threw it at pillbox, and then he drove off. Cops got him, put him in prison, and then I just slowly started killing him off. But yeah, Mr. Smiles was very very cool. Now his story is okay, but I will say Mr. Ink's story was very just like it was so rich in stories, a lot of pieces combined. There's a lot of like it was very cool. So when you were saying about people kind of messaging you about torturing them, have you ever really like have Fiona, I guess, get DM'd about her getting tortured? Like has anybody ever asked you, I guess, for consent or whatever, like, hey, is it okay if I like torture Fiona or anything like that, or has it always been kind of just like winged or whatever?
I would say the vast majority. I mean, there have been people who have DM'd me and say, "Hey, can I torture Fiona or can I torture any of your characters because I need victims?" And I've said no. I'm like, nah, Fiona's just kind of chilling right now. There was really only one instance that was really winged, improvised.
Mm.
And honestly, I wasn't going to really. I mean, first of all, let's be real. Like, to kind of provide a disclaimer, like, with the whole torture RP thing, there is always going to be kind of an out of character element to that because you don't want to just try to go up to someone and grab them from a clothing store and say, hey, do you consent to torture RP? Because that person is like, wait, what? You want to talk to this person beforehand and make sure that that is something they are okay with, because you never know what's going to upset a person or trigger a person or,
True.
anything like that.
Yeah.
So, as I feel like out of character consent is super important as well. So when I say like these were planned, I mean received out of character consent before doing anything in character, because you never know what someone's gonna be like, oh my god, what the fuck are you doing to me?
True.
So the only time that it was really 100% improvised for Fiona was an escaped lifer whom I suspected would be targeting her because Fiona yelled at her and screamed at her, and as a lieutenant in the DOC, deservedly, I will add. But she escaped, and I was like, oh, I'm in danger. And I was like, okay, well, I have a feeling she's going to come for me. If she does, consent to it and see what I might consent to torture if just as a kind of reward for finding Fiona on her own. Well, that was the one day that Fiona went off duty, which was stupid. And she ended up kidnapping Fiona, and the only thing I consented to Fiona was she lost a pinky, which was quickly reattached.
That's still oh damn. I was gonna say
It was reattached.
okay.
No. I allowed the cutting off of the pinky, but I did make sure it got reattached and found and whatnot. So like, I personally would not enjoy being kidnapped and then just being like, "Oh, this is a torture scene. You want to torture my character? Please don't." So like, most of the time, yeah, that kind of stuff is going to be agreed upon out of character.
I feel like there are some times that whenever I'm watching someone stream and they're either like they're trapped inside of like a trailer and they're like handcuffed or whatever. I'm just like, that's pretty fucked up. I'm like, but like how do you consent to that though? You know what I'm saying? Like how do you consent to be like, hey, I want to trap you in this trailer and just kind of like be trapped in there and just literally just be in there, at all times, you know? Um,
Yeah, that's not something you can just kind of organically consent to
yeah.
in the moment. That's something that needs to be agreed upon because that could you never know what someone has been through in real life. You never know what's going to upset someone or what their limit's going to be. So for the kind as sensitive as torture RP and kidnapping is, that is something that you've got to talk about.
Oh, 100%.
Like I'm a firm believer of that as someone who has played characters who have been tortured and as someone who's played a serial killer.
I don't think I've ever played a character that's ever been tortured. Now I have played serial killers, and actually, wait, I do have a question for you though about that. Have you ever played kind of like a sci-fi character, whether that be like, like someone like Apollo or a dog, not really supernatural, but like anything that isn't like a human type character?
No, because for the longest time, you had to get permission to have any sort of supernatural, paranormal, like, different type of character. I know
Yeah.
that's from what I last read in the rules, that's not really the case now for Echo, but the closest I ever came was a character named Elamina. Very, very short-lived. She ended up being murdered brutally, but that's not the point.
What the fuck is
She
that? Okay,
thought
hang on. What is okay? What the fuck? Hang on. Okay, but how does she die? What?
brutally and horrifically, actually. But, because again, someone had a character that they wanted to be of the serial killer variety, and they were like, "I need someone to murder," and I was like, "Sorry, that was my cat." And I was like, "Well, Elamina's not really doing much. Let's kill her." So she got deaded. But she thought she was a vampire. Um, and she was gonna be a little psychopath too. Like she enjoyed drinking people's blood. I remember once she chased Denzel Stark around on a traffic stop trying to I'm sorry, I'm cracking myself up. He like fell and skinned his knee and he was bleeding a little bit. And so Elamina just like started chasing him around trying to get at his knee and get that blood, and he was really freaked out. There was another time she kept going to Pillbox, and like that was when Jasper's was working there as security, and she was like begging him for like blood bags and stuff like that. And he was just like, "Ma'am, you really need to leave the facility." And she's like, "No, you don't understand. I need blood."
I'll miss Jasper so much, dude. Fuck.
Right? He was great. I had so much fun bringing her down there, and he always went along with it and rolled with the punches, and he was great.
The amount of times I think whenever I was on Apollo and Jasper was just there, just like he was always down for whatever the fuck, like whenever I wanted to Apollo, like if I wanted him to drive but drive backwards, he was totally down for it. Like, holy crap, dude. Oh my god. And one time he had put Apollo downstairs in the courthouse where the jail cell is. And
Mhm.
I think I don't know if I have the picture still, but I remember peeing on Apollo in the dumpster and then having the camera like pointing away and like Jester's like looking on his phone. It was really funny. But um I don't think I ever played a character like that, like a thinking of a vampire. I think I've always played like Rex, my robot character. I don't really play him anymore. I really want to, but I just feel like I already have too many characters as it is. But
Yeah.
and then obviously Apollo. I played a cat once, which is like kind of it's all right, I guess. But I don't know. I think I only like playing Apollo as like as an animal or whatever you want to call him, Bigfoot. Apollo, I don't know, but I think that's the only one I really had to play in that circumstance. Like robots, just too. It's just a lot of work. It's a lot more work than you
Yeah.
would think. Like like you gotta eat stuff so no one can see you because technically as a robot you don't have organs, so there's no point on eating, but you still have to eat. It's just It's a mess. It's obviously a big fat mess, though.
Yeah, sounds like it.
So, I was gonna ask this, but fuck it. Well, okay. Going back to where Fiona gets taken hostage or whatever, getting tortured. What is up with that, by the way? I will say, like, we kind of skimmed through a little bit, but what's the deal with her being a magnet towards getting tortured so fucking much? Like, is it part of her like DNA? Is it like some type of synth thing that no one knows about? Did you unlock the code or whatever? Like, what's the deal with that?
To be quite honest, it stems from Fiona being in DOC, because Fiona was a PD recruit at first, and then she transferred full time to DOC right when she was about to finish her PD recruit phase. And so Fiona was full time DOC for a year, and the people she interacted with were lifers, people who were in prison for murder and torture and cannibalism. Cannibalism is very popular in the server. I've never played a cannibal personally, but to each your own.
Really?
But people with very detailed backstories and psychosis. Like these people play insane characters, and a lot of them play them very, very, very well. And as Fiona got to know these people, it really just kind of gave me a whole new perspective on roleplay in general, because before I came to Echo, I'd been part of another server for like 2 months, and that was my first ever kind of foray into GTA RP and anything like that. So before Fiona, I played Rose, and Rose was just petty criminal, very kind of off-the-wall, goofy type of person, and then there's Fiona, and I'm exploring this very much more serious side of roleplay and in depth. And I'm someone I've been a writer pretty much my whole life. I've written stories and novels and things, and I very much just love drama and things that pull your heartstrings and things that make you cry. And so when I got to the prison and I'm meeting all these people, and I'm like, oh my god, like RP has so much more to it than I thought it did. I was like, you can have these big in-depth stories and arcs, and I'm just like, oh my god, I want to be part of this. So that was really just kind of the first instance I had with it, was realizing that there was so much more that I could do with Fiona. And then once Fiona was tortured twice, almost in quick succession, and I think that kind of gave people the idea that, oh my god, Fiona loves being tortured. I want to ask Fiona if she wants to be tortured. And I went with it for a few people, and it really just kind of, like you said, created that whole idea that Fiona gets tortured all the time, which is honestly true. But I loved the complications that could arise from it, the story possibilities that could arise from it. And one thing too is I love helping other people with their roleplay stories as well. If that's the kind of character that they want to play, then they know that they can come to me, and I am more than happy to help them with that. Because let's be real, being a serial killer, that kind of RP is not something that appeals to a lot of people, and it can be hard to find people who want to help you advance that type of RP. So I'm happy to help people with it as well. I'm a girl's girl. What can I say?
So I will say, the only time I really ever had a character of mine that would be tortured was, honestly, I can't remember if it was Porter. I can't remember if it was her or not. But I remember she messaged me like, "Hey, can I kill off one of your characters?" And I was like, "Well, I have one character that I don't really know what to do with him." And I remember like it was yesterday. I went somehow found her, right? Found her at Locked and Loaded, and she touched this little like point at this little thing, and I roleplayed that she touched or whatever. She walked away, and I had my character go up, slash me, grabs onto the weapon, and just started sniffing and be like, "Oh my god, she touched it! Oh my god!" Just like really being like really creepy, and obviously just being very obsessed with her. And every time she stood somewhere, whenever she walked away, I'd have him just be over there, just be like, just being really weird or whatever. And I remember literally she literally, I'm honestly surprised no one ever really caught her, because literally what she did is, I think she whacked him on the back of the head. He passed out, took him to this alleyway, cut off his head, and then just threw it at locked and loaded. And it took him a little bit to figure out that his head was there, which was always fucking wild. But I think that was like the only time I really ever
Damn.
ask consent to kill off one of my characters. But yeah. Also, we have a question in chat. Y'all like butterscotch? Do you like butterscotch?
I can't honestly say I've ever had it. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a fucking weirdo, dude.
Not
I
you never had like the old people candy? You know what I'm saying? Like the little mixture of.
Nah, not really. No,
Well, I like
like
butterscotch personally. I don't know
I
about her.
couldn't even begin to tell you what it like tastes
Fucking
like,
weirdo.
or
Am I right, guys? Jesus.
for yeah, it's not the torture RP that makes me the weirdo. It's the fact that I've never had butterscotch. Okay, the Mighty Maximus can just go heck off into the sunset.
Oh my god.
It's freaking wild. The slander is crazy.
Well, I mean, listen. All right, obviously, it's true because it was said in chat. So whatever says in chat is obviously true, right, guys?
That is not true. Like I said, Jimmy Fallon could never. Like, I expected to be treated better than this. This is crazy.
Jeez, guys, she asked if she could see her drawing before we start stream. You know what I'm saying? You know how crazy that is? Jesus.
You offered when I was streaming earlier.
Yeah, I did not, and I was like, I'm just not going to do it because why would I?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Why would I?
Yeah, again, Jimmy Fallon would never.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, true. Tax bracket, you know what I'm saying? Anyways.
Yeah.
So going back to PD and DOC, obviously two are separate like entities, obviously, right? Two separate worlds, I feel like, because obviously like DOC is mostly just very grounded with obviously being in prison, and prison rules are totally different from outside rules, you know. And obviously PD, you have your criminals, banks, whatever. So which one's kind of like your least favorite and which one's your most favorite? And I guess the second part question of that would, which one did you have the most story with your character on both sides?
You're talking about DOC or PD?
Yeah.
So it kind of depends because they, like you said, they are very, very different. And Fiona left DOC in April of last year, and I went full-time PD. And I love PD because there's always something to do, almost always something to do when you're in PD. And I feel like that's why people tend to watch cop streams more often, is because there's always something going on. You're not just watching someone sitting there having a conversation. And what I love about PD is not even just the chases. Like Fiona cannot drive. Like Fiona is not a good driver. Fiona's not a great shooter, and I have always admitted this. What I love is just the interactions I have with people, the stories that people come up with, and when they're robbing houses or selling drugs or stealing an ATM or something. Like, it's just fun. And then, it's a 20-minute scene or an hour scene, and then you move on to the next one. It's just kind of one right after the other, and you end up several hours later and you've done a whole bunch of stuff. And it's just super fun. Now, DOC does not appeal to a lot of people. DOC takes a special kind of person. DOC takes the type of person who is more interested in the story, who wants to, you could call it a slow burn of getting to know people, learning about their past, learning about their likes and dislikes and personality and stuff like that, and then slowly kind of breaking through that shell, especially, and I'm referring to the lifers really, because the thing with people who create characters to be lifers is they're very detailed characters, and oftentimes the people who play them have put so much effort and time into developing those characters and their stories, and that's what they're there for. They want to tell their stories. And so someone who plays DOC needs to be receptive to that. You need to enjoy unlocking those stories and figuring out what they're trying to tell you and figuring out the quirks of their personality and stuff. And so I wouldn't say I enjoy one more than the other. But it is a completely different sort of vibe when you're DOC. And Fiona actually did get hired back onto DOC part-time today. So I'm actually super excited for Fiona to go back. It's been almost a year. But it'll be a nice change of pace when I don't want to go out and patrol and kind of do one thing right after the other. I can kind of slow down a little bit, unless there's, 5 jailbreaks in a day, and hang out at the prison.
Wait, does that actually happen? 5 jailbreaks in a day?
Yes, today, in fact.
Really?
Yes.
Jesus.
Now, when I say jailbreaks, that just means that the jailbreak alarm was called. That doesn't mean that someone broke in 5 times. It could be called for any sort of reason. It really kinda depends, and I think one of them was just for a shakedown, the other one was for someone breaking in, a lot of it can be for anything.
That's right. I saw that one
So
person who tweeted out being like, who can break me out or sort of bring me something or something like that, right?
yeah. Yeah, that was an inmate, a lifer who got a phone, and a jailbreak was called to perform a shakedown to get the phone, which I have, varying opinions about the use of a jailbreak to perform a shakedown, and that's neither here nor there really, but that's a big reason. Phones are not allowed in the prison, and so you got to perform a shakedown. And unfortunately, that kind of ruins it for everybody because everyone in the prison is going to get searched at that point because they know there's a phone somewhere. So anyone else who might have had a phone but wasn't using it, they're probably going to lose it. And honestly, that's just kind of the politics of the prison. That can cause some issues amongst the inmates. It can cause drama and that kind of stuff really appeals to people. They love that kind of story building, and I personally think it's a lot of fun.
Okay, but okay. So like you were saying, like right, like that's such a great way to I guess like expand the story some way. But I feel like with that statement right there already is like now when I was Mr. Ink and I was in obviously prison or whatever, like I had a phone, but the only time I was really on the phone was like super late. Like I'm talking like three or 4 in the morning. Nobody's really around, whatever. And I would call certain people and we like plan like for them to come by or whatever, whatever the fuck, right? But like I feel like if you're in prison and you have a phone, I feel like the best thing to do is just like lay low with it. Don't be just tweeting out
Oh,
all
100%.
all just fucking put thought into it. You know what I'm saying? Like when I saw that on your stream, I was like, oh my god, dude. Like what come on, dude. Like put a little bit of, a little bit of into it. Like at least wait till like not when literally DOC boot camp's happening right then, right there, like but I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah, I
But yeah.
agree. And I mean, so my character Rose recently had a 7-year stint. And for those who don't know, a year is the equivalent of a day. So Rose was a lifer for a week. And obviously, it's not my first rodeo in the prison, either as a lifer or whatever. But Rose almost always had a phone. Always. Rose was at the time a member of the Lost MC. Um, and they were always trying to come see her. They broke in a couple times to visit her, and Rose always had a phone. I think there was like one span of like a few hours where she didn't have one. And because if she got one taken, she would find another one. But the thing is Rose never had a phone taken because she was tweeting about it or she was using Instagram or something like that. She never actually got caught with the phone because Rose was super smart about it. If you tweet about it, you are damning everybody in the prison who has contraband, and it sucks. It really sucks for someone who has played lifers to have like Rose had a phone, she had a radio. At one point, she had like a screwdriver for self-defense because drama and whatnot. And someone tweets, and it's like, okay, we're all getting searched and we're losing it just because they wanted attention for that moment. It sucks. So Rose never did that. And Rose always managed to hold on to her phones and stuff until someone did something that caused the COs to have a shakedown, and it just sucked. But yeah, Rose's camera roll on her phone is full of just her taking selfies in the prison and stuff like that. Like yeah, she always had a phone.
That's so great. I see stuff like that is like, I don't know. I just sometimes I wish that if somebody were to ever, well, I guess you can't really control, I guess you can't really control that. I was gonna say like I wish some lifers would have like a rule set, but I'm like, well, it's not lifers aren't doing it. It's just people who do petty crimes or whatever get put to prison, they get a phone, they start tweeting out like, hey, well actually
No, it
wait,
was a
oh, it's a
lifer.
lifer? Oh my god, bro.
Hmm. And they do, from what I've heard. Now, I haven't been part of this because I haven't had like a permanent lifer there in almost a year, actually. But I've heard about it, and they do have some sort of like hierarchy system where they do have, I guess you could call them an OG or someone like a representative of the lifers the kind of liaison between the lifers and the COs. And so they do kind of have something like that. And so I don't know if there's any consequences for what that person did or anything like that, but they do have some sort of structure, which I think is fascinating. That's not a thing. That was never a thing while I was DOC or while I had a lifer. But if it works, then, go for it.
Well, I know the last time that I really ever know anything about lifers was when I had one lifer. I can't remember his name. He had this big ass helmet. He needed to breathe or whatever, and this guy was like, obviously, for some reason found my character very intimidating because he didn't talk much, and he was threatening to kill him or whatever. And they apparently locked in each other's cells or whatever. And he was really just trying to really just get to my character. I mean, it's so crazy, right? But I remember very briefly that there was like a handful of staff members that were lifers, and I honestly can't remember their names. It was so long ago, but that was the last time I think I ever really knew what was going on in the jail, because obviously,
Mhm.
like I said, there was structure back then, like a little bit, but now it's so like I don't even know what the fuck's going on now. But I have heard little bits and pieces of like I said, structure. Sometimes I think I don't know. It's just I find it so interesting because those lifers obviously they put the apps in to get looked at, to get approved, and then when they get in, it's just like it's so crazy that you just don't even hear anything about them outside of jail. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, and not all lifers have done the application thing. That was actually something that was reintroduced, I would say, fairly recently. Mantis, for example, she committed the crime she was in prison for. I role played out every single crime that she committed in Los Santos. Nowadays, there's a lot of lifers who are in because of those applications and stuff. And it is interesting because you also have to put in an application to break out of prison, which I think is super, super smart because people were breaking out all of the time. And that puts a huge strain on DOC and PD. And it was a lot. But it's interesting because yeah, it's the prison is its own little world, honestly, especially for the lifers who didn't become kind of prolific out in Los Santos, because there are still some names that you can say and then people will know who you were talking about. Like if you say Black Spear or Mantis or Dahlia or certain names, people out in the city, civilians are going to be like, "Oh, I know who you're talking about." But if you name someone who came in on an application, unfortunately we just don't know who they are because their entire story has been in the prison. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just kind of a different sort of thing. It's like the prison's
yeah.
its own little world.
Well, I mean, even like I said before, though, like prison RP going from outside of prison, it's like a whole different world. Like it's like I don't know. It's just so fascinating. Sometimes, like, I've always wanted to have one of my characters go to prison just so I can kind of, like, check it out. But I'm like, I don't know if it's worth it getting a record for any of my characters, to be honest with you. But
I mean, Apollo went there as a K9
well, I'm
unit, and
saying,
that was really fun.
I'm saying like more of like on the prison side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like more as a prisoner. But true though, true. Probably did go to prison once just to kind of like walk around. And I will say though, I fucking love people's reactions whenever no one's ever if no one's ever met Apollo, like if they're boot camp or whatever, and they first time see Apollo, fucking reactions always send me. That's why I never you never hear me make any sounds like whenever I hear people's reactions, I'm fucking laughing so fucking hard. Like it's just like I don't know. I always live for reactions. That's why I've always like the reactions whenever I'm walking on Apollo down on the side of the road and a car flies by me real quick, but then you just hear the brakes and like they're fucking
Yep.
screeching the wheels and they just kind of like slowly reverse back a little bit. Holy shit, dude. It's so good. I fucking love that shit.
Yeah, I've had fun with Fiona just in being around Apollo. I remember once there was a CO who looks across the meeting room at Apollo and he just goes, "What is that thing?" And I was like, "Dude, you can't call him a thing. That is Apollo and he is a member of PA." And he's like, "But okay, but what is it?" "What do you mean it? He's a him." And like it was just this whole thing. I made him feel so bad. I was like, "You got to have tact." And it became a whole thing about teaching this guy tact. And he's like, "I don't know what tact is, Fiona." I'm like, "Well, you gotta learn. Because you can't just point at Apollo and ask, what is that?"
Holy shit, dude. That's so good. What the fuck? Oh my god. Next time I see Fiona, I'm gonna give her one of Apollo's stickers. Have you seen that yet or no?
No, Fiona was his canine handler, and she never got a sticker.
Well, he just recently got them. It's like it's, it's
Okay.
like little Looney Tune, round things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, it has him in the middle and it says Apollo on it. It's pretty cool.
Oh my god, I love that. He needs to
Yeah.
get a sugar cube. I'm
Oh
almost out of sugar cubes now that I think about it.
my god. Also, Miss Squish says you're doing amazing, Sugar Cube XD.
Oh my god, I freaking love Miss Squish. She is my sugar cube. I love her.
Also, Miss Squish, thank you so much for saying you love series. Yeah, hopefully we start these up again. I'm aiming for next Thursday. I'm aiming for Tom and Bill, but fingers crossed
That'll
though.
be a hoot.
Fingers crossed though. But so with kind of like, I guess, as closing, right? I do want to kind of break into you kind of like your family RP, right?
Mhm.
So how can I word this? So with me on, well, I guess on Jimmy too, but not really. I guess more on Cree. So whenever I adopt someone, um, there was this kind of like, I don't know, like I wouldn't say awkward, but just kind of like this weirdness shift in like we got closer OOC and NC to where like we checked up on each other every day, we always kind of made sure that
Mhm.
we were okay. Have you ever experienced something like that, or has it always only been in character?
Um, yeah, I've experienced something like that. An example would be one of the lifers Fiona met in prison. He's now my roommate, like in real life. He's one of my best friends. Um, Another example is Fiona's husband, Max Lionheart, is my real life boyfriend now. Um, he and I got really, really close. I visited him in the UK in July. He's just the bee's knees. I think he's okay, even though he's kind of mean to me. Like he said, I was a weirdo in the chat earlier, which like what the frick. But
Well, I mean, it's from the chat, so obviously it's real. You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't know about
So
that.
whatever it
But
said
yeah,
in chat,
so but yeah, I have become really good friends with, several people that I've met in the server, and it's honestly been awesome. Like, I would say the most notable ones are obviously going to be Max and James, my roommate. But then, like, I've become really good friends with Fiona's friend Scarlett and several members of the Lost through Rose. It's been really good. Like, my time in Echo has led to me making some really amazing relationships with people, and it's been great. I freaking love my time here.
oh hell yeah. Hang on, let me look at my notes real quick. Sorry. Well, damn. We just went past all the notes. Well, chat, anybody got any questions for Rex over here? Sorry. I literally went through my notes. I feel so bad right now. Oh my god. I'm sweating.
Oh my god, breathe, dude. It's
Oh
okay.
my
You've
god,
done
I'm
this before.
breathing.
Breathe. You got this.
True. I think we're on like season 3 now. I think. I'm pretty
And you're
sure.
nervous. That's
Well,
crazy. And
season
here I
4.
am being like a total badass.
I think. I can't remember. But yeah, chat. I appreciate y'all come by. Thank you so much. Well, I guess the next question I can ask you, like, what's your plans for Fiona and Rose? Like, do you have any plans, I guess, like storylines that you're kind of looking at that you kind of want to test out or anything like that?
Well, for Fiona, she hasn't been my main focus as of late. I did get a little burnt off of being a cop for a while because I was on Fiona constantly. I was on duty, and I was really grinding for a couple things. Like I really wanted her to get FTI, which is field training instructor, which is, to do with training cadets and stuff like that, because I used to be a teacher in real life and I love teaching, so that's really what I wanted for her. She got corporal recently. So for Fiona, I'm not really sure what's in store for her. Now that she is part-time DOC, I think that'll be fun to kind of explore that avenue again. Um, the person who cut off her leg is currently an inmate there, so that'll be an interesting sort of
Ooh.
story development. So they've met before when she's shown up at the prison to do canine instructing and to do like boot camp tours, and it's always been very, very, very tense. So it'll be interesting with Fiona working there now. That'll be kind of an interesting sort of development to see what happens there. But for Rose, that is actually all kind of up in the air. She actually just left the Lost MC 2 days ago. She was the road captain, which is a leadership position. She loved the Lost, like she was all in 100%. And then the Lost has recently experienced a mass exodus where they've lost several members, and it's all up in the air. So right now, uh, Rose is trying to figure out what the frick she wants to do. I don't know if I'm gonna want her to join another group or a gang or whatever. I know I don't really want to do the MC thing anymore. Rose has been in prison for murder and torture. She's had 2 expungements and a broken parole, and Rose has done pretty much everything. She was joking around with a couple paralegals yesterday about how she wants to be the first person in Los Santos with a 3rd failed expungement. Um, so we'll see. I'm not actually going to get her an expungement because it would never happen. Like she will not get a 3rd expungement. Like people literally laugh at her when she says she wants one, even though she actually doesn't. So for her, Rose is just kind of figuring stuff out as we go. Now that her time with the Lost is over, um, but then I also have a very scary lady who's in the works. So we'll kind of see what happens with her as well.
Oh shit! Now, are you gonna stream the scary lady, or is that kind of be like a off stream type character to play?
I will stream her eventually once I'm 100% okay with her being caught and then people knowing that this is me. Because as much as I hate it, there's always going to be someone who is likely to stream snipe or whatever. And the last thing I want is for my scary lady to be out doing something she shouldn't be doing, and then I'm streaming it, and then, oh, the cops just so happen to be patrolling in that area, you know? So I'll stream her eventually, but it's going to be once I'm satisfied with how her story has gone, and I wouldn't be upset if she got arrested and went to prison, Because eventually she is going to get caught and she is going to go to prison, but I really kind of want it to stay under wraps right now. So she's out there. I haven't really told anyone her name or what she looks like or what she's done, but she's out there and she's watching you.
What? I was kidding about the whole, chats right about whatever they say, right? You know what I'm saying? They were joking.
Yeah, yeah.
Help me, guys! I'm blinking. Help me! I'm blinking. I'm blinking. Help!
Don't be scared. Don't be
I'm
scared.
fucking terrified. You're right.
Awesome, cool, good.
But yeah, no, that's cool though. Oh my god. So wait, obviously I know we're talking about OnlyFans, but I have a few questions about Rose though. Is that okay? Is that okay
Lovely.
to ask?
I love Rose.
Is it okay? Okay.
Yeah, of course. I love talking about Rose. She's my little princess.
She's your passenger princess.
Fiona is also my passenger princess. No, Rose was the princess of the Lost. She is just delightful. I love her. Anyway, go ahead.
So when you said that she's not part of Lost, is it because you said a lot of people aren't on part of Lost anymore? Is it like Lost? Is Lost still kind of like being around, or is it just kind of died out a little bit?
Well, so Rose and another person left the Lost, and that was for honestly our own reasons. The reason Rose left was because I got tired of fighting all the time. The Lost was constantly getting rolled and shot, and we were getting looted, and it was constant, and that's not the kind of RP I enjoy, and I was just done. I was just over it. It got to the point where I didn't want to play Rose during Main Storm anymore because we were constantly getting rolled by different gangs who just was fun. So that happened, and then I don't want to get too into it because it's not really my story to tell, and things are honestly pretty sensitive about it. I'm not gonna lie; it's unfortunate
Like
how it's
what?
turned out,
Oh
but
my goodness! Like what?
it's just been some drama, and something happened where a whole other group of people left after Rose and the other person, and then another person left, and now they're really struggling to pick up the pieces. I hope that they can. I hope that they can rebuild because I think that the Lost MC provides very, very good role play that is different from the other groups in the city, especially your typical gang. They're very much about telling stories and having fun and just being silly and enjoying ourselves. And I loved my time with Rose in the Lost MC. And honestly, my character Mayday was in the Lost until she permed, and I brought Rose back after like a month or so because I couldn't stay away. I loved it so much and I wanted to go back to it. but it just came to the point where that wasn't or I wasn't enjoying myself anymore. It didn't feel like a game, so I left. So I hope for their sake that they can rebuild because it's a great group. They provide great RP, good people. Like I have no bitterness in me whatsoever. And it's unfortunate the way things have turned out, but it is what it is. And I really hope that the Lost isn't over.
I hope not
It's
either, to
just
be
Rose
honest
won't
with
be
you.
part of it.
Well, I feel like Lost is such a is obviously, I think, even take out the city lore. I'm talking like city lore as in city like gangs like FSM, all of them, right? Like I
Mhm.
feel like Lost is such a pretty big anchor, right? And I will say the last time I think I heard Lost, like any Lost, like before, obviously previously, like just recently, is I think my my time. I think when I first joined Echo, which I think was like 3 or 4 years, or maybe 5 years ago, when I first joined. I think
Mhm.
my first year, that was like the only time I ever seen such activity from Lost. After that, it was mostly just like jokes, like people like, "Oh, I'm in Lost," and they're joking about it, right? But
Yeah.
I will say though, I haven't really experienced anything with Lost, like with my role play, but I've always see people tweeting out asking if Lost is around. So I think my experience with that is like just they have some type of role play going on. I may not see any of it, but they still have
Yeah,
like
they
a
do.
yeah.
It's good role play too, and they were very involved with the other gangs and stuff, and had deals and all this really cool stuff, and like it was really really fun to be part of. It was the first organized group that I'd ever been a part of in my 2 years at Echo, and I absolutely loved it, and it's so different from a lot of stuff because it's very strict. It tries to go off of real life MC stuff as much as you can, except for the fact that, real life MCs, they don't allow women. So obviously, they're going to make allowances for things and change things and stuff like that. And Rose in the Lost was just super fun because she came in like a fucking cannonball and was just like, oh my God, everybody, we're going to build each other up. We're not going to tear each other down. We're going to treat each other so nicely and we're going to care about each other. And it's just going to be so much fun. And people are just like, what the fuck is this woman on? Like, is she okay? Because these are like big biker guys who are hitting each other all the time and punching each other. And Rose is just like, oh my God, besties, slay pussy queen girl boss, let's go rob a bank,
Jesus.
guys. And they're like, oh my God. So it was so much fun to play. And I'm gonna miss it tremendously. And I don't know what's in store for Rose now that she's not in the Lost, but it'll be interesting. Rose has been through a lot. I have a feeling she'll be fine. She'll figure her shit out. Ish.
So no third expungement, just to put that out
No
there.
one will no one will represent her. She's tried. People laugh at her. She'll go up to Matthews, the chief of defense, and she'll be like, "Will you represent me for my third expungement?" And he just says, "No, Rose." She goes up to Eve, who's a state clerk, and Eve just laughs at her and then tases her and then insults her. And then,
What the
like, just that's just Eve. She's great. No, but like, no one will represent. No one will even try because they're like, you'd have to go against Bianca Garrett, and I'm like, okay, but like picture how notorious, like picture the notoriety you would get from representing someone to get the third expungement. Not only a third expungement, but someone with capital crimes. And you get that expungement, like you would be the GOAT. You would be him. You would be the most famous person in all of Los Santos. And people are just like, no, Rose, stop. And I'm like, God damn it. Like it's not gonna happen, unfortunately. And let's be real, Rose does not want a third expungement. If she did, she would go back to EMS, but she would get bored after a month and then she would quit and
Murder
it'd
somebody
be
or
she
steal
already
someone's
no she
kidney or
no she already murdered someone. It's fine. She
okay,
murdered
good.
someone
All
early
right.
this year.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Well,
Yeah, just a
damn.
little bit. It's
Damn.
fine.
Just a
It's
little bit. What the?
just a little murder, just a little
Just a
second degree. It
little.
wasn't even first degree, it was second degree. And I would like to say that she had it coming because the person Rose killed tortured Rose first. So
Okay.
you're welcome, Los
Okay.
Santos.
What the? No, she's a vigilante now. Jesus Christ. That's
She
exactly what we
did get.
need.
Oh my God, that's my favorite charge from Rose. My favorite charge is vigilanteism. I
Oh my
love that she
God.
has that charge.
Jesus. Now she's a fucking superhero now or whatever. Jesus.
Yes,
Oh my
superhero
God.
Princess Rose. Oh yes, failed parole too. Yes, Max is right. Failed parole. Yeah, she.
How do you fail parole?
You have really bad reading comprehension. Is really the way to do it. Rose was provided, and when I say Rose, I mean I was provided a Google Doc of everything that Rose had to do for her parole when she was in prison for second-degree murder. And I was like looking at it and I was like, okay, I got to do this and this and this. There was a lot. In my defense, there was a lot. They gave her way too many things to do. Like it was unreal. But anyway, one of them was she had to do like a certain amount of community service hours a week. And I misread something in the parole agreement. I don't know what it was. I misread something. And so that first week went by and I was like, shit, I haven't done my physical or the community service because I was like expecting her parole officer to handle it and he didn't. And he was like, well, you need to handle it. And I was like, I didn't know that. Well, it turns out her parole officer is Maximilian Lionheart, whom Rose despises and he despises her. But so she fucked that up on her first week of parole. And so the judges were like, okay, send her back to prison. And Lionheart was actually, even though he hates Rose, was like, let me give her 48 hours to get everything done for that first week, and then she'll be okay. And the judges were like, no, send her back to prison. And so Rose turned herself in. She goes back up to the prison. And then she's still just like, dude, it was a freaking mistake. Please just listen to me, hear me out. So the next day, she arranges a meeting with the judges. She goes in, sits down in front of Earl Bongley and Victoria Wolf, and she pleads her case. And she's like, please, it was a mistake. Just, I am trying to do good. Well, unfortunately, she had jokingly tweeted about buying a digital den coupon or something.
Oh my god, dude.
While she was out on parole. And so Vic and Earl were like, no, you're going, like, your track record is against you. You tweeted about criminal activities. Like, we are not convinced that it's just a simple mistake. We think you just didn't care. You're going back to prison for the remaining 50 years. And so Rose said, and I quote, fuck you, fuck your system, fuck the Department of Justice. This is all rigged. This is a bunch of bullshit. You guys are bitches. And then she walked out. And then, because she had been so well behaved, they didn't cuff her on the way back to the prison. So Rose jumped out at a stoplight and ran off into a construction.
What the fuck?
And then she got caught. But it was fun. I ended up not playing Rose for about 50 days because I just didn't. It was a whole thing. Rose ended up getting quote unquote transferred to another prison, which just means I didn't play her for 50 days. I was done, you know? But that was an interesting sort of little era that Rose went through. That was her murder era. It was great.
Damn.
Told you, Rose has been through a lot.
Jesus. All right.
Yeah, you asked.
Damn, I did ask. Damn. Also,
yeah.
Charlene. I saw one
Charlotte?
of her clips. Yeah, Charlotte. Yeah. I saw one of her clips. I thought it was pretty funny. Can't remember which one it was, but I saw one of her clips. Sorry. Brain went crazy.
Charlotte's hilarious.
Yeah, true, actually. I think it was
That's Rose's daughter.
I think that was something about like she was riding on a bike and some guy was like, don't get hurt or whatever. She okay. And she take a turn and the truck just out of nowhere just bopped her. And I was just like, the timing of that was fucking crazy. Love that.
I mean, honestly, it sounds like her, so.
Oh my god. Well, I do want to say one thing before we end. All right. Hi guys. Listen. Thank you so much for joining this little talk show of mine. If you have anything that you'd like to remember from this, right, is to use my code DeuceMeFam at checkout on Echo RP Store. Thank you so much. If you use my code DeuceMeFam, it doesn't really give me a discount. It just helps your local streamer. Okay. Sorry, I do my shameless plug. Sorry.
Sorry, I fell asleep. What? I'm so sorry.
It was an honor torturing Rose for like 6 times. Is that true?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Rose has also been through. Listen, it's all about the stories.
6 times? 1 time.
I
Okay,
don't know if
2
it was like
times.
6. I lost. No. It was like 2 or 3, maybe 4, maybe 5, maybe 6, but it was definitely not 6. Like, come on, be so for real.
Jesus, 6 times. So just like 2 times
Not
or
at
3 times.
once.
Just 1 time or
It
3
was,
times
and it
just
wasn't
wasn't.
like in quick. It wasn't in like quick succession either.
Across 2 characters, I'd say like 5. What the?
Listen, let's be real. I'm gonna be so for
You know,
real.
I'm about to. You know, what I'm about to do right now. I'm about to put you through a therapy session right now, just so we can
No.
understand. Is this
Listen.
torturing? Is this torturing thing a fucking kink at this point? All right, what the
No,
fuck?
it's not. And I hate that you're not the first person to ask me that. Listen, I need you to
The story is just
understand.
copy and paste.
Never listen to Max, first of all. Second of all, listen. Stop laughing at me. I need you to listen.
I'm listening. I got my ears open. What's up? Jesus.
Okay. I'm getting a little defensive because you're not the first person to
Yeah,
ask
I'm just
me
wondering.
that.
Yeah.
First of all, I am not by far the person with the most tortures in this server. I can promise you that. There are people who are pretty much robots at this point because they have been chopped up so many times. I'm not yelling, Max. Stop. Anyway,
You're
I
yelling
apologize.
at me in chat, and I don't know how I feel about that. To be honest, like I told him this is a
I
very safe
apologize.
space.
I just got very passionate
about what, murder? Jesus.
No.
Jesus, that explains it. Honestly, what the
No.
fuck? Jesus, dude.
No.
Get passionate about murder. Jesus.
Let me explain.
Let me explain my plan.
Let me
murder
explain. And also, I'm gonna be so for real with you guys. Okay, so the whole my character likes being tortured thing, it's about attention. We all like to have attention, and that is the guaranteed way for your character to be visited in the ICU and be like, "Oh my God, Sugar Cube, are you okay? I'm so worried about you." And you're like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Why are you coughing? They cut off your foot. Oh, my bad. Like, it's just the perfect way to kind of get some attention and get that little moment in the sun.
Wait. Your little moment. You forgot that we just established that over 2 characters, it's like 5 times each. By the way, so wait. So your little moment is a whole fucking movie, right? Is that what I'm understanding now? Right?
Let's be okay. Honestly, yes. Fiona and Rose deserve their own movies. It would be amazing, and it would be dramatic, and it would be a whirlwind of chaos, and it would just be, 5 times total across 2 characters.
Okay, listen, I'm making a point. She was actually, you know what I'm saying? I was making a point. I understand that.
Stop gaslighting me. I need you to understand. I need y'all to just, you need to get this. Yes, part of it is an attention thing, and that is not just me. That is anyone who decides they want their character to be tortured because they love that little moment where I'm just like, oh, look at me, I'm in the hospital, and I'm getting all this love and attention. Oh, I'm feed off of this, and then you get out and you're limping, and people are like, oh my God, Sugar Cube, why are you limping? And you're like, oh, it's when I got, and then you look up into the distance, tortured, and they're like, oh, you got tortured? Yes, I don't want to talk about it. And it's just this very dramatic thing, and it gives you attention, and you love it, and we all want that little bit of attention every now and then. You know, that's what I'm saying. Now, I also like to advance people's stories. Candy, for example, she was like, I have a serial killer, and I was like, I have a victim, and I was happy to help her with it.
Oh my God.
Listen,
Jesus.
I told you, I like helping people with their stories and stuff like that. I'm a very big proponent of your characters having stories and backgrounds and histories and stuff, as opposed to I wake up, I clock into PD, and then I clock out and go play some COD, you know?
You play COD?
No, I don't.
Oh.
If I played COD, Fiona would be a good shooter.
Yeah, literally same though. Jesus. You know what's crazy is that I was telling someone that like I like shooting games. Like, oh, so you're a really good shooter on GTA? I'm like, nope, that's not what I said. I said I like shooting games. I'm not a good shooter.
I cannot. Fiona and Rose are okay shooters. Fiona and Rose are okay drivers. They have gotten better. But I grew up playing games like Legend of Zelda and The Sims and Animal Crossing and things like that. You know, I didn't grow up playing FPS games. Those are boy games. Come on, guys. That was a joke. That wasn't my type of game. So I'm not naturally good at shooting. or driving or anything.
Not true. They said that you're really good at bike when you're on your bike and on.
I have gotten better at being on a motorcycle. I will admit I've gotten a lot better, and that is honestly due to Rose racing around the city at 160 miles an hour on her double T.
love how love how Chess, she's okay
They're
on a bike sometimes.
Why are they being so mean?
But,
the only like there's very few people who are actually being nice to me.
Wait, where's it at? Where's it at? Fuck, I can't find it. Where someone like, yeah, she's great on a bike or something like that. Fuck, I can't find it. But now Chat's like, she's okay on a bike sometimes.
Yeah. See, some of these people are nice. Max is being nice for once. My friend Wayward Canuck is being nice. Tanera is being nice. See, we've got some niceness. Like I don't think you understand how mean people are to me. You know, like Fiona gets harassed all the time, and Rose gets harassed even more. And honestly, they're so. Oh yeah, Rex, my canine. Anyway, I have a canine, and he's the only one who doesn't get harassed. I'm gonna say, like Rex the canine is the only one people are nice to. What do you mean? Here's the drama. This is crazy. This is crazy. This would never happen on Jimmy Fallon's show.
Okay. You know what? On that point, we're gonna fucking end the show. Damn it. Whatever. Jesus. Put your lights away. Oh my god. Here comes. Oh my god. Put your lights away. Put your lighters away. Here comes the gaslighting. What the fuck?
That's Max.
Oh my god. I'm feeding Rex chocolate. Oh my.
What the fuck?
Oh my god. What the fuck?
He needs to understand. Okay, his cadet is having his final eval tomorrow by Fiona. Does he really think I'm not going to government corrupt the shit out of it and fail him on purpose?
Fuck, dude. Damn.
Like, be so for real, my guy.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Damn. Apology comes out of nowhere and just rips his ear out of his fucking head. Oh my god, dude.
I'm not even gonna ask for consent. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna rip the ear off.
Yeah. Oh my god. You know what's crazy is that I forgot. Okay, listen. There's one time. Okay, I feel like I might get judged for this, but one time I was on Apollo. We were at the courthouse. It was about close to restart. This guy comes out of nowhere, starts fucking being extra loud, and I fucking hate it. Got on my nerves. Like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna rip his ear off, and I'm just gonna eat it and spit it onto him. Right. So he was laying on the ground, being like, "Oh, I'm hurt" or whatever. Paulo went up to him, slashed me, rips ear off, and chews on the ear. Literally, Vic and everybody's like, "Oh my god, what do we do?" Like, I don't understand. And then, like, before this, big restart happened, Paulo like coughed up his ear onto him, and then just sort of restarted.
Ew! Okay, first of all, that's icky. And second of all, I did something similar once. Mantis was stabbing someone with a broken pool cue over and over and over. I was like, this might be torture. I should get consent. You just get carried away with RP sometimes.
You do. It's just the oh my god, just the feel of just like being able to do something cool or something different, and it's like, oh wait, need to ask consent. While doing it, wait, hang on real quick. Go pull up Discord. Hey, is it okay if I do this for you real quick? You're already doing it. I know, but I'm just asking, are you okay with this?
Yeah, always, just the PSA, everybody. Always get consent before you torture.
Unless it's gonna be really cool, to be honest with you.
No. Always get consent. Unless it looks really cool. Always get consent before you torture.
Unless it looks really cool. Quotations.
Unless it looks really cool.
Yeah, unless it looks really cool.
Yeah, fair. Honestly, fair.
Mm-hmm. Icky, so icky. That's my mom, by the way. Dude, it's me, your mom. That's my mom.
Oh, hey, dude's mom.
Yep, that's my mom. Yep.
My mom's not here.
Fiona saying that best poach ever. What does that mean? Wait, what is poaching? That
troopers poach people.
Oh,
allegedly.
Okay.
And so, Fiona was originally, she was DOC, obviously, but then when she went PD, she was LSPD, which no one expected, honestly. And then she transferred to Troopers.
Crazy enough, Paulo actually tried to get poached by a lot of PD, to be honest with you. Try to get poached through, oh yeah, especially Troopers. And I was thinking, like, man, that'd be really cool. And I was like, nope, I'm just gonna stay PA because I'm comfy there. Yeah.
Yeah, fair. Apollo might be a little OP. Like, foot chases would be unreal.
Oh no, they are. Trust me. Someone took him out once, and then that was crazy.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, actually, I mean, yeah, I remember that day. We call it literally every single criminal, and that's why I was like, you know what, maybe I should take a break on Apollo and just don't get on as much. That's why I don't get on Apollo much. But recently, I think I got on him. I think last month. I think before the snow really kind of melted. And I remember I came around him for a little bit, said some haze, and then yeah, and then I'm gonna try and get on him again, maybe tomorrow. To be honest with you, I like getting on Apollo on Sundays. I don't know why. Something about Sundays and me and Apollo. I was like Sundays, sometimes weekdays though. But oh yeah,
That's
oh
oddly niche, but okay.
oh, you're the guy that gave a sticker too. Oh shit. Okay. But yeah. Someone stole the sticker. Oh my god, someone stole it? Give me names. Give me names. I'll fucking hunt them down. Let me just say, Automod took this guy's comment. It took Looney. What the Looney Tunes? Yeah, the Looney Tunes ones. Yep. Jesus. Well,
Someone stole your rose sticker again? Oh my god. I've given you so many stickers.
jeez. Oh, did I ever? I don't think I ever talked about this, but there was on my Jimmy character, I used to have these little cards. I can show you one if you want. But I used to have these cards of Jimmy, and I can't find it. Oh well. We'll try to find it sometime soon. But I used to try and make money to buy a new building for Legacy, and I would sell these flashable cards, which at the time flashing cards were very, very rare, right? And I used to sell them for 10K a piece. Not even kidding, 10K a piece, and people just fucking throw money for them. And then and I think it was, I think the first wipe I was a part of, they make a rule like you can't sell like your items, like you can only be like you exchange. I'm like, okay, well, damn. And then I found out that people were selling Jimmy's fucking card for like $100,000, and I was like, oh my fucking god, like it's in the black market apparently. And I was like, what the fuck? Like that was so crazy to me. The fact it was in the black market, people were selling it. It was crazy. Such a
See,
fucking
that needs to happen with the sugar cubes, especially because they allegedly have cocaine in them.
They have cocaine in them?
Allegedly,
What
maybe.
the fuck?
No.
What the
No.
fuck?
Okay, there has been a running joke for over a year, started by Reka and Bishop, that there is cocaine in Fiona sugar cubes.
Damn. Need to grab like
Mhm.
have apologists grab a handful and just start eating them.
You should, honestly. There was a whole investigation by Damien Rivera into it. Fiona got arrested. It was this whole thing.
Jesus. What the fuck?
Like nothing seriously. Like I knew, like let's be out of character. No, there is no cocaine in the sugar cubes. Fiona is not a cocaine queen pin or anything like that. It's just something that started that's funny. And it's led to a lot of really, really funny roleplay interactions about it because it's hysterical. Like there have been interventions, there have been arrests, there have been interrogations, all related to Fiona's cocaine sugar cubes. And it's been really funny. And yes, that's a very good point. It fits with the whole trooper shit about cocaine. So it works out. Fiona's the perfect fit.
True, actually, troopers also cocaine. True, I actually saw that on Apollo. To be honest with you, yeah. No, we snort. Well, some people, sometimes I think their budget's so big, dude. I expect it, right? They just sell drugs all the time, every day.
Oh no, Fiona manufactures the drugs.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know if you ever saw this. I'll try to find the clippers. I'll try to send it to you. But there was this one point where they were doing like a house robbery checkup or whatever, and he third eyed one of the stuff that you can rob. He looked at it and got banned.
What?
Yeah, because he was on duty, also trying to rob, like trying to
Oh
steal.
my god.
Yeah, so he got banned, and they. I'm gonna try and find that clip so I can show it to you because he was literally just like, it was so fucking funny. I fucking love it though. Holy fuck, dude. Oh my god. All right, well, so obviously you're the guest, so you get to choose who we get to raid next.
Yeah.
So anybody that's on the Echo Live
Uh,
now.
well, I'm gonna have to say we gotta go for Queen Callie. She played right now. She's on her lifer. We talked about DOC a lot, so I feel like it's only fair. I can paste her name in the
Queen
chat.
Callie.
Queen Callie. She's listed in the Discord list as Lena RM or Kara Havelock.
I feel like I'm blind right now.
I just DM'd her her username.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I got you,
All
fam.
right. And twitch.tv/. Oh. Freaking ad. Jesus, I don't know what came up, but oh my god, it was terrifying.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
You
I'm
good?
a little shaken up, to be honest with you. All right. But how do I mute this? Oh, fuck it, whatever. Okay, here we go. Jesus, computer's going crazy right now. All right, chat. Listen, hope y'all enjoyed this stream. Thank you so much, Rex, for coming on here. You literally makes you so happy we were able to sit down and talk behind the role play. And
Oh yeah, thanks for having me.
of course, no problem at all. I mean, hopefully, I can have you on again. This next time, we'll hopefully be able to talk more about your Rose character. Which
Hell yeah, Rose is a delight.
wait, do you have any like quirks about Rose, about like, like with Fiona with the sugar cubes, or do you, or no?
Not quite with the sugar cubes, no. Just she's a little ball of chaos, but she doesn't really have a thing like not that I can think of that Fiona does, like with the sugar cubes.
One of my quirks for Jimmy is that he lactates beef jerky textured milk.
Yeah, that's an interesting quirk you got there.
Mm-hmm.
Sugar cube, yeah.
Yeah, beef jerky textured milk. All
That's
right.
horrifying.
What horrifying? I'll save you a bottle.
Mm.
Don't you worry. I'll save you a bottle.
No,
All right. All right, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and raid Queen Callie, and please make sure to check out the YouTube. Here's the link for that. Oh God, I wasn't prepared for this. Why do I say things that's not be prepared? Like what the? Okay, here you go. Here's a link to my YouTubes. Make sure to check out and keep updated, and I'll probably post this probably right after this, to be honest with you. But if you want to, keep getting updates on, if you can't make it to the live show, just make it to there. But yeah, hope you all have a great rest of your day, and yeah, have a good night.
Bye.
Okay, rated, and then I go to my OBS.